How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all well. So today we're working on a Rover 75. It's a turbo diesel, but they're all the same, the arms that I'm doing. This one's an estate. And we're going to put a new bottom wishbone in. Actually, I think we'll open it up and have a look at it, shall we? Obviously I know what they look like because I've done them before, but I want to show everyone else. So basically, it's your bottom arm. Ugh. See both sides there? It's sitting there like that, basically. Or obviously on the other side, depending on how you're looking at it. And this is your main bit that goes into the centre, and then your ball joint. Oh, that one's tight. That's how they should be. So first thing to do is get the wheel nuts off, which are 17 if I remember rightly. Jack the car up, get it in the air. I'll put it on where I need to put it, and then I'll bring you over, show you underneath. I'm not actually going to put this on the sill. I'm going to put it on the floor, one of the chassis rails. But I could quite easily put it on the sill if I wanted to. But I don't want to risk denting or marking any of the sills because this car's in actually really good nick. And that's how I want to keep it. And myself, I ain't got any lockers on here if I can remember rightly. So I don't need to do that, but you will need to do that. You get yourself a wheel brace or whatever you're going to use to undo the wheel nuts. And just test side to side like that. Now I have actually got a tiny bit of play on side to side, but I think that's just wheelbarrow related. Don't know if you can hear that. That's the bottom ball joint moving. It's a bit of roof. Just checking my springs and stuff while I'm in there, because you might as well look at everything. Not that you can get in there very well anyway, but all the wheels on. So, hear that? Pretty bad. Definitely needs done. Right, so my name's Carl, this is Waterside Workshop. Let's get started. I'm obviously going to use my gun, but like I say, before you use whatever you want to use. Or just put my nuts on the jack so they don't go missing. That's tight. Ooh, that took a bit of stick, didn't it? Let me see my gun do that. Woohoo! God, that's tight. That one don't want to know. I'm going to try a higher setting, which I don't normally use. That is mega tight. They ain't been off for a little while, but not that long, to be fair. Right, gonna have to get a bar on it. Most of the time they're not like that, to be honest. That's not normal. What I'll do is I'll just put a socket on it like so. Whack a bar on it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it while it's in the air, to be honest, but I might have to put it on the ground, which is a pain. So we'll have to rejack it, but ain't got a choice, because that's the only way to get them undone. Obviously I haven't put the full weight on the car, just put the tyre on the ground enough to undo this. Whew, that was tight. So I'll fast forward this back up for you. Right, so we're back up here. That was a pain, wasn't it? Whew. I don't get many like that, to be honest. I'll leave on, it almost to be a pain. We'll keep the bar out, we might need that for other stuff. Wheel come off nice and easy. Tyres are all good. I always check my tyres if I'm doing something like that. Right. Yep, 100% bottom arm. It's moving quite badly down there on the ball joint. Just looking at me plastic cover in here. So I seem to have lost the bit that goes up here to where the headlight goes, and down here it's folded under by the looks of things. I'm going to need a new liner by the looks of things. That'll go on the list of things to buy. That's what I'm on about. See, when you go under and you don't know what's going on a lot of the time. Just checking me drop links and stuff like that, and they're all good. I did wonder if my shocks were a bit weak, but I can't seem to move them with my legs. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to do this arm, aren't we? So I'll grab a light so you lot can see a lot more. One under there like that. These lights are really good. They run on the Milwaukee batteries, but they just put the plug the light onto them. You can just see exactly what you're doing, which is nice, and definitely nicer when I'm filming as well. I'm just going to grab another battery. You have to excuse my throat and stuff because I've just been ill for a couple of weeks. Right, so we're all lit up. Let's bring you over and show you what's what. So as you can see under here, jack's on the chassis rail, as I said, but if not, I can go there on the sill. I just didn't want really mark the sill or anything, because as I say, this one's in really good nick. So what we're actually going to be removing is this arm here. Goes into that rubber there, and doesn't actually bolt in there or anything, it just slides into there, goes into that joint under here, this big bolt here, and then The ball joint is on the back of there. So let's see if it's going to be a pain, or let's see if it's going to be nice with us and come off nicely. So next you're going to need a 13mm spanner, and that goes on one side of the joint. And then you're going to want a 15 on the other side, and that'll be the gun or a socket, depending on whatever you're using. I'm just looking for the extension bar because I'm going to want the extension bar. Basically, you got one side like so. You get your 13 on the other side. And that's just to hold the other side, basically. A few little hits like that. Off comes your nut, put your nut side. You know where it is. And sometimes you have to wind these bottom ones out. Turn your steering the other way so you can see the nut the other side. It's good to have your key in on one turn, but not with the ignition on. Just have it so you can move your steering around. Sometimes you know, say you have to wind these out. They get a bit tight in there. Hit it around a little bit and just try and get it moving with the spanner. If not, you have to get a socket on it. I'm going to hit it with the gun. And out it comes. And so they can be a bit tight, as you saw. You can blast them out with a gun, or you can get a socket on them and get a bit of leverage on them, and they'll come out as well. So that's that first joint out. Yeah, we're not anywhere near done yet. The next one we've got to do is we've got to get under there and get on that big old thing down there. And then we've got the fun job of trying to split them and stuff like that. So next thing we've got to do is we've got to go underneath, and as you can probably see, I put a 22mm socket on there. I'm going to put a axle stand down there underneath the subframe. And once we're good and we're safe under there, in case it wants to drop, it probably won't, but just in case. Put the gun on there again, but again you can do this with a socket. Watch all the dust and dirt don't come down in your eyes. Like it did to me. Let that come off fairly easy, which was nice. Nice when they come out nicely. It's a bit stuck in the socket, but I'll soon get that out. Put that aside. Right, next job is we've got to start splitting the joints. So I'll bring you under and show you where we were. And we're doing this one here at the moment. Taking that big old ball jointy knuckly thing out in the middle of the subframe. We've then got another one here. We've got to get in between them as well. Doesn't matter if you split any of the rubbers because we're putting a complete new arm in. So that should sort all that out. Okay, so I've got myself a ball joint splitter. Can get them from pretty much anywhere. I'm going to go between the hub and the bottom arm. You have to tap it in gently to start with. And once you get it settled in there like that, you want to cloud it pretty hard, try not to hit your bumper and stuff. And as you can see, that one's out. You can see how much movement, geez, how much movement there is on that other one. This one's completely knackered. I can feel there's nothing left of that whatsoever. Now the other one is in quite an awkward spot, but you have to get in there. There's no way of not doing it. You'll have to go in from under there, I reckon. You're doing the same job basically. I won't take you under for this one because I'd have to lay you on the floor and you won't really see a lot. So I've just pried that up with a bar. So I'll show you now. Basically just put a bar in here and give it some angles and you can literally lift it out. But we've still got this end to do down here. And down the back there, there's 2 bolts. I'm going to have to go from underneath here, from round the back, underneath, and undo them 2 bolts. That will release this, and that should all slide forward. So that's what we'll do now. I'll show you where they are. They're up there, under the back there. We'll get them undone, and that's where we are. Okay, so what I do is this end of the arm, that's the upside down bit, that's the bit that goes through this rubber here. What I do is I get one of these and I chop the end off, and then what that does is that gives me access up into here, and that's where them 2 horrible bolts are. So you can't do any better than cutting that arm off there, undo them 2 18mm that are there, one from this side at a diagonal angle, one from around the back with an 18 that way up like that, pointing down at an angle, and then you have to interlock another spanner into the back of it, and that's how you undo it. So next, to get your new arm, wiggle it around a little bit, get this thing back so it's sitting back up to where it's meant to be. Put this centre one in first, just push this out of the way, like so. Wiggle it in, get your bottom one in first, put your nut on the bottom, then that will give you some sort of centre. Now the next one you have to do has got to be this one up the top here, because you have to line up them 18mm, and they're a bit of a pain and you have to sort of guess where it goes on the end of this. But to be fair, that moves around on there quite easily. So you just get your 18mm, line them up, and away you go. Then it's the case of you have to move all this back around, get everything sort of back to roughly where you want it all again. And then that one's got to go in, but we'll get them ones in the back there first, because they're the pain, and then we'll move on. You literally only get quarter of a turn at a time. That's the only way to do it. You can't get a socket in there. You have to keep turning the spanner over, making it fit in the gap. To get it started, you have to use the other end, and you have to go in, do half a turn that way, then you have to turn the spanner, get it back on, do half a turn, turn it back over, do half a turn. That's the only way you can get it going, because you just can't get in there. So spin these down like this, same around the other side as well, nip them up nice and tight, and then we'll move on to the next bit. So just push the bottom ball joint in, tapped it here with a hammer, not here because that will dent in, tapped it here with a hammer, got it so it's coming just out the top of the hub, lined up the bolt, and just tap this around until the bolt goes through nicely. You have to tap it through with a hammer and it all lines up nicely, and then just blast the 15 and the 13 together and do it all up. Next one is the 22 under there, and this is the one that will tighten everything down, that will pull everything into place and line everything back up to how you want it. So climb under, line it all up nicely. What you don't want is it to spin like that. You need it to just blast down in one hit if possible, but we'll have another quick go. So we're going to have to put some pressure on the top of the ball joint with a lever or a bar, which will be just get whatever you can get in there basically, and get some pressure down on that bar, because unless you can push that downwards, it's going to be a pain. I'm going to push that with that bar as best I can, like that. I'll put one hand on the bar and push upwards, trying to keep it in, and I'll have obviously the other hand on the gun, trying to do it up. On pretty tight by the looks of things, but I'm just going to set my gun so it go to its maximum. Yeah, it's nice and tight. Got a setting on my gun where it goes to where it knows that's as tight as it needs to go. Oh, everything's lovely and tight now. I can't move a thing. That one doing there. Got a track rod in there. Got some play in it. Look at that. So we have another job. That's a pain. We'll get one of them ordered up straight away. So that brings us to where we need to be, really. Everything's in. Just check everything. Make sure that one's all done up and that's sitting in there nicely. Just pop them through the top there of the hub. Make sure your 22 is done up nice and tight. You can put an Allen key in the end of that if you need to, if that keeps spinning. Make sure your 18s are done up around the back there, and the bar I think is just sticking through on the holder there. And that's where you are basically. When you're in there and doing yours, check that, because mine don't sound too good. Yeah, I'll definitely get one of them ordered up. And there you are. Now you basically all you got to do is put the wheel back on. In my case, I've got to now order up a track rod end, and I've just checked the other side, and that's even worse than this side, so I'll be getting a pair of them. I always put them on as a pair anyway, so look out for another video on them if you want to see that done. Whew, right, get this up on here. Get yourself some light so you can see what you're doing. These lights are good, or wear a headlamp or something like that if not. I've moved my jack, so I've got to just reach out for it. Spin the wheel nuts on. And we're pretty much all back together. Should make a huge difference if one of them arms is wobbling about and going all over the place. Changing the arm if the bushes are gone, or if normally when one of them little ball joints go, the other one's gone as well, and then that put pressure on them bushes as well. Luckily enough on this one I was okay. The donut bush at the back was actually really good and weren't very old, but normally that's good to buy that arm with their bushes as well. Always go through everything a couple of times, make sure it's all good. Hear that? Definitely got a problem on the track right now. Not what you need, but the rest of it should be good. Right then, so hopefully that's helped you out. Helped you fit one of them arms yourself. They are a bit of a pig of a job, to be honest. And as you can see, I've had to use all sorts of tools. Don't forget to cut the arm off so you can get to them 18s when you're taking it out, because obviously they're a lot easier to put back in when they're loose with the arm in the way. But taking them out, they're quite tight and you have to get them going. And if you cut that arm off there, you can get in there with other tools and just whoosh, out they come. Otherwise you could be struggling for hours just trying to do 2 bolts, which is a pain in the butt. Right, so like I say, hopefully that's helped you out. That'll save you a good few £100 if you tend to a garage and had that done yourself. So definitely going to save you some money and keep your car on the road and stop your steering from going all over the place. I was driving down the road and mine was going bloop, bloop, hitting bumps, and that was just all over the road. That was horrible. But now I know the track on ends are gone as well. That's not going to help it either. So I need to get them done straight away. I'm not going to drive it until I've got a pair of them here and got them on. I will just take around the block and just make sure that bottom arm settles in and okay, but I'm going to order them arms up straight away and get it sorted. So thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, I'll do lots more stuff on these sort of cars all the time, on the older vehicles and sometimes some of the newer vehicles. So why not subscribe to the channel or become a member? It's only a few quid a month, cheaper than a coffee, and you can learn all sorts of stuff and support the channel, and I'll be able to do more of these videos. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.